Music. Music is the beat of our hearts and the light of our souls. It is just communication. It is the language of love. It is the expression of madness and the antidote to sadness. It is the best non prescription painkiller out there in the market. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Blossoming Chronicle podcast. And thank you so much to whosoever who's joined in another week to watch another episode and who's devoted time to their growth and their learning. And as the background suggests, today we're going to talk about music, love, passion. And I've finally managed to get someone really impactful on the podcast from the fine arts. And he's an artist, a singer, a lyricist, and a musician to sum it all up. Music isn't just his passion, it flows through his blood. At his heart, he has always been a musician since his childhood. But not until the age of 17, he was actually able to believe in himself and grow into a more confident person and believe that he could actually pull something as great as a musician off. And ever since then, he's dropped 7 multiple song albums, including Hopeless Romantic 1, 2, and 3, Court Tapes 1 and 2, and Courtside. And his most recent album called Love Tends to Forget, which was out on October 15, 2021, and is booming speakers everywhere around the world. So today we're in conversation with Jason Oguri, aka COURTSIDEJAY, and let's dig deeper to get to know about his humble beginnings on his purposeful journey of becoming a successful musician. So welcome to the show, Jason Oguri. Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Honored to be here. Wanted to try a conversation. I've seen that you've already had a few with other people, so I just want to bring what I can to the table and see if I can bring something new.
Okay, thank you so much, for being here. And I'm really grateful. And I hope that this is a fun conversation for the both of us and for anyone who's watching. And so first of all, congratulations on the new album. And I was just listening to the song Bed Sheets, and there was a third song. So it's pretty nice. I like the song. Okay. And so how does it feel, 1 year, I don't know how much time did it take for you, but how does it feel, all of the efforts coming to fruition?
It's funny you say that because most of my albums before, I do them real quick. Some of the Courtside, some of the Hopeless Romantics, I did them in about 2-3 days, just quick recording and just done.
Okay.
And for this latest album, I actually decided to take a while and just record here and there and try to gather up as many songs as I can. And then just cut it down. So for this album, I actually probably started around March, not even knowing it. And I could have dropped it sooner, but I wanted to wait until October. I just kind of wanted to wait a little to more for the fall, if that's even the fall. But I waited a little bit. So I had about maybe like 4, 5, 6 months. I'm not doing the math right now, but
that's a while.
Yeah,
that's a while. Yeah.
And I even had people who knew I was doing it. Like they acknowledged that I was taking that long before I did. They were telling me like, I'm proud of you. It's been so long, like that you've been working on this. And I realized I was like, damn, like I have been, like I didn't even realize. Like, so it's been pretty nice just to have the music out. And if anyone wants to hear what I've been hearing, just like jamming to on my own, like it feels great to have them being able to as well at the snap of a finger.
No, that's amazing because, I think because the most difficult part is to just begin. And, like you said, for your initial albums, you like kind of recorded it on the go and just you like went scrappy. And that was it went like the same way with me. Like you just have to start. And once you start and you get that momentum kind of, and then you took a while to write, one of the greatest albums, which is out now, which is like really amazing. And so, that's really amazing. And so, so I was really keen on asking this because I'm not someone who, switches on to like a new song when it comes to, listening to new songs on my playlist. And so I was listening to each song very carefully. I'd like to know everything has a story behind it. And since you took 4 to 6 months, now that I'm getting to know that, what is the story behind Love Tends to Forget, like the complete album? Because I am able to sense, I don't know, is it just me? I'm able to sense a story in every song. So what's that story?
I feel like that story you're talking about, maybe because it's a versatile album. It's not necessarily one sound. So you kind of hear different sounds of what I've been going through, different like emotions, I guess, with each different type of beat or whatever you want to call. And with that said, the love tends to forget. It sounds off the rip. It sounds like love, like loving someone. It tends to forget, and it can be that. And it's kind of like when you're so in love, when you're so into something, you forget about how comfortable, like how you get comfortable with it. So after a while, you might get upset. You might get like you might take it for granted, but then you realize like I just love this thing so much. It's been a while. Like I need to take more. I need to take more. I need to give it more love. I need to show it more love. I can't just be taking it for advantage. But that doesn't go for just love. That goes for anything. Anything like the music. I love the music so much, but I could also take advantage of it if I go too far. If I start not watching myself and watching my moves and executing how I should be. And it goes for really anything. Anybody's passion is make sure that everything is set correctly.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I thought, it was from some particular life incident of yours. Okay. So that's okay. No, but that's really amazing because like it doesn't just necessarily have to be loving someone. It can be love in
Yeah,
general, like just the
yeah,
concept of love, manifestation of that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, because it does. I mean, of course, it does have a lot of like say you could say love songs or talking about
Yeah.
love or with women on there.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, like love is just it's not just towards people. You can love anything. You know what I mean? Love as much as you can. So
Exactly.
yeah, I feel like love just tends to forget.
Yeah, okay. So there is like, this misconception which I also listen to a lot of podcasts. So I've seen many people say, and especially this notion is very famous in India, that music has to be born from like a place of like you need to have your heart broken to kind of produce good artistry or whatever. But I certainly
Mhm.
don't believe in that. Like you can have certain songs tailored to certain moods, but
Mhm.
in general, it does stem from joy, right? So, what is your perception on that?
My perception, it does help for sure.
It does.
If you've been through something, especially if you're a good writer, like if you know how to write, you can articulate yourself, and you've gone through something. It's like an alley oop, if you know what that is. It's like a pass to score, like real quick, and an assist. Um, and that's what I'm saying. It should just be real easy. But it doesn't necessarily need to be that. Like there's songs that are upbeat, like you said, songs that are fun. That it doesn't have to be all about love or anything like that. And everybody does what they do. It can be feeling when you're in reality, it's the music that does the talking. As soon as you
Mm.
hear the beat, if you're listening to it real loud, like if that's your type of sound and you love that and you're a writer, you just it writes for you. It's like, and if you watch interviews of bigger artists and stuff, they'll say here and there that it's like you're like a vessel for God. Like it's not, you're not the one writing. Like you write it, but it's
Yeah,
like God using you as a vessel to do whatever it wants and put out into the world. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it doesn't. You look back and you're like, how did I even do that? Like that's
yeah,
just a miracle. Just God's creation.
exactly. It's basically that voice. And back then, something that you might not have imagined, you weren't able to, conceive of it as truth. It
Mhm.
just happened. It just happened. Like I really like. Okay, so are you a spiritual person? Like I believe in God. I do believe in God. And so, how does that work out for you in instilling positivity and optimism in your life?
I mean, if we're being quite honest here, um, like I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I at 17, I kind of had um, like a newfound
Mm.
like I let's just say I experienced something for the first time, and it turned me into a new person. Like I saw things for a new way. So I was able to see myself different. I was able to see others different. I was able to do everything that I should have been. And ever since then, I've tried to grow on that. I try to manifest. I try to be a better person. I try to have morals. I try to like treat everyone the same because we are all the same. And so yeah, it's honestly, some people around me. I mean, I'm not trying to say people don't, but
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
But like I didn't get this from other people giving it off, because other people, it's not like I can pull up on most people and then we just start having this conversation. Like, not really. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here and there, you'll find some people, but from where I
Hmm.
live, people are kind of just focused on different things. So, you know what I mean? It's not really all the same. But yeah, I've just, ever since that time when I was 17, I've tried to grow in that, and I try to grow my knowledge of what I learned and try to just keep finding out more answers and just understand the world and everything.
Okay. Like for me, that was when I turned 20. I think, yeah, like
Mhm.
just the past 2 years, you know, when you've just
Mhm.
been in the solitude and, you know, of your own presence. So, yeah, for
Yeah,
me,
my bad, but solitude is very, it could seem very like sad or just
yeah,
very lonely at sometimes, but if you really sit through that solitude and you talk to yourself and you do what you got to do, it can be very, very helpful.
exactly. And so, how did you like kind of start off? You know, I like obviously you're very young and like the journey is far, you know, like you have to traverse a lot right now. But how did it start for you? Like, did you create opportunities for yourself? Did you receive opportunities and you just went with the moment? Like, how did you start off, you know, singing and when you discovered your passion? And like, obviously, you
Mhm.
knew that you wanted to sing and everything, but kind of
Mhm.
same is for me when it comes to dancing. I love dancing, but I do nothing about it.
Mhm.
So I'll definitely like I think I'm gonna do something about it. But yeah, how did you like start singing and how did it all happen?
Yeah, honestly, I would always sing. I was even in choir for school. I mean, I didn't really take it too serious, but obviously I was there, so I'd somewhat sing.
Hmm.
And if I wasn't there, like say if we're waiting for choir, or even just any time of the day during school, or if I'm in the car, anywhere, you would catch me singing to songs all the time. Like, it'd kind of probably be annoying to some. So I was always singing. I just wasn't making my own stuff. Didn't know like how that was. I thought that stuff wasn't possible. Like, I was like, man, writing. How do people write these songs? Like, which is insane, because that's why I'm saying if you work at something, you can get anything done. So that's why I had that where I had that change of mind that at 17, and I told myself like, if I know people who can record, why can't I? Like, why can't I do something like that?
Hmm.
So I told myself I'm gonna make music, and I don't care how long it takes. If I'm just making music, I love music, so I know it's gonna make me happy. Even if I'm 22 and I'm making music, if I have 100 plus songs, like that's gonna make me feel good because I love making music and I
Hmm.
love music. So it was funny because I really didn't know. Like, I said I wanted to make music, but I knew people who made music, but I wasn't close to them, super close. But luckily enough for me, I had a few friends that I went to middle school with, and at the time we were in high school, 17, and I heard that they had some stuff, some equipment, and I figured I'd ask, and luckily they knew me. They didn't, and luckily they were cool with me, I guess, at the time, enough to invite me over and let me go to their setup and record with them, and I appreciated it every time. And it started off very slow at first. I was kind of like nervous to write, and then once I started writing, like, it just kind of wasn't, I don't know. It kind of took a while. Like, I would be writing at school and stuff like that, and I remember those days, like having to write at school, and I don't know, just it feels like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, it
Okay.
feels like so much has passed since then. But yeah, I just went with them and I recorded a few songs, and after, like, it actually kind of did pretty good. Like, I know I helped someone out with a song. That was my first work. I was on
Okay.
their I was on their hook for their song with them, and I know the song did, I believe, like 1,000 or 2,000 plays, like in the first like week or two, like 2 weeks or
Okay.
something like that. So that was
Okay.
pretty decent.
Yeah,
And then,
it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it took like a while, but maybe like a month or so after I finally dropped my own song just by myself. And that one I just wrote at school, like just randomly, and sure enough, I recorded it. And this was early on when it wasn't very sounding very good or anything like that. So we were just dropping stuff on the fly. But I dropped that song, and that song as well, like did about 1,000 views in like the first 2 weeks or something like that. And I remember being like so surprised and just happy.
Yeah.
But you quickly find out that like it fluctuates. You know, you got to work through it no matter what.
Yeah,
You can't let it bring you
yeah,
down if you don't do the
yeah,
same numbers from one week to another. Like that's a part of the grind. You got to love the game for what it is.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's, it's kind of like that thing. I don't hear the cheers, I don't hear the booze, something like that. And like if you're gonna celebrate, you're gonna celebrate one day, and then you're gonna get over
Mhm.
it. If you're gonna cry, you're gonna cry one day and get over it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. After that, how did you like skim your way after that? Like when you recorded song, when you worked on someone else's song, then you wrote your songs, and then were those people like still there? And how were you able to skim? Like, what was your journey till love tends to forget?
Okay. So yeah, no, I stopped working with those people. That's in in like in music.
Mm,
You'll notice sometimes you have to
mm.
go through a bunch of different. They're called engineers and producers, stuff like that. But I mean, we're still friends, you know, for the most part. But we just don't really work like that anymore. Um, but yes, I worked with them probably for about a year or two, and then I moved. I moved cities for a while, so that obviously stopped us working. And by the time I came back, we weren't really working anymore because they were on different things.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've gone through multiple engineers, which is the people who like record me while
Okay.
I'm singing it.
Okay.
So and those are the ones who make everything sound perfect. So you need
Hmm.
a great one of those, which is why I've gone through multiple and trying to find new ones and trying to find ones that make it right. Um, so yeah,
You wrote your songs like initially without knowing any rules for songwriting, right?
yeah, for sure. Of course, like I said, I always used to hear people say that they would like, or even like in interviews, I would hear people artists say that they would study, like
Yeah.
study music, and I
Yeah.
always question. I always question. I was like, how do you study music?
Exactly.
Like, how do you
Okay.
study the songs to figure out how to write a song? Like, I just didn't get it. But you know, the more that I make music now, like, and even then, I didn't know what to look for, but I would still listen to the music, and I would try to study it as much as I could, even though I didn't know what I was supposed to be looking for. And
Yeah.
I and that like it helped me after a while. Like it helped me, and you can kind of find those nuances, and even like you know, just it's kind of um I don't know, like muscle memory, kind of like muscle memory. You get so say if especially like if you sing other people's songs,
Hmm.
if you when you feel it feeling right in their song when it feels amazing, you
Yeah.
kind of get that same feeling if you catch it on your own. Like you know, if you're singing, you like that sounds kind of like a version of this. Like I don't know, just amazing.
Okay. No, that's right. And even I am this person who would rather learn by doing. Like after
Mhm.
writing the first song, you might have realized, okay, this could have been done correct, this could have been done correct. And yeah, that improves with time. And rather than going through that education process, I would rather prefer, learning by doing. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Sometimes I think that, okay, this particular thing didn't happen in my life right now, so it's never gonna happen. And so, but these days I've started to think that, okay, timing is really important in life. And sometimes, what you want, it doesn't happen necessarily at the time you want it to. And there is definitely some good in that. So does your mindset, kind of shift towards timing as far as happening things for you is concerned? Or are you more, a believer of, okay, like I'm going to put in effort, so it has to happen? So what is your perception?
I'm more the latter. Like I do believe like if you put in the effort, especially like if you know, like I don't know, you have to also be like try to more be realistic. And you know, I try to be realistic with myself. I know my music isn't going to gonna please everyone. You know,
Yeah.
everybody has a different sound, especially depending on how much they're into the music in general or not. That'll choose whether they like your stuff or not. So it's okay. Like I can't let someone's opinion affect me too much. So it obviously isn't very like it's not. I wouldn't prefer to keep going. Like you know, being on 4 or 5 years almost going to keep going without much recognition. But
Yeah.
again, you gotta wait your turn. the timing, like I said, when like say like stars align, or just when what's meant for you comes, it's gonna come, and it's not gonna be for anybody else but you. So you just gotta wait. You gotta wait your turn. You gotta be in that spot. You gotta be there for the assist, for the pass, right? Like like the alley oop. Like I told you, you gotta be there at the right time for the alley oop so you can make it. Like like. And if you're not, if you're worried about other things, if you're, even if for a second, even if you work hard, and then the last week you're like, "Oh, I don't really care anymore. Like, let me do
Okay.
something. Let me do something else." You might find that it happens, and you just miss it. You miss an opportunity. Like, you just you gotta choose wisely, but you gotta, appreciate every opportunity you get, even the ones that you have to make yourself. Such as like stuff as like promoing yourself on Instagram or Facebook. Like that's an opportunity to get yourself seen, which doesn't happen unless you invest in yourself and you want to help yourself. That's not an opportunity that's technically just. I mean, it's handed to you. It's right there. But if you're not paying attention, if you don't look at it, if you don't do anything with it, then it's a wasted opportunity.
Okay. Nice answer. You're very articulate. I like it. So what were the relationships that kind of helped you navigate through, not just in general music, but since your childhood in general, to trust yourself, to trust your passion? What were those relationships that kind of uplift you, that kind of motivated you and helped you believe in yourself? What were those relationships in your life?
Are people who help. They definitely push you up, on a bad day when you're kind of low on yourself, or even you don't have to be low. It could just be random. Like next thing you know, you look at an Instagram comment and someone's commenting how much they like your song or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. I have a few, followers and friends that obviously followers, but I follow them back too. But friends on Instagram, or just I have a few friends in real life too that sometimes I even share my music before I drop with them, and that's what I'm saying. They'll be waiting for it. They ask for it early. They listen to it and they love it, and they're asking, "Hey, can you please drop it already so I can be listening to it like on my phone already, like on Apple Music." So I always appreciate them for that. And parents, yeah, my dad is probably a little more into it than my mom has been, because my dad just likes more or less the type of music that I make, like, or just in general. Like my dad's more into, I guess, music, and I don't know, maybe it also has to do with him just wanting to see me, do anything really. But I'm sure, because I mean my mom likes music too, but I guess either my dad either likes music more, or again he really just wants to see me do something that I like to do. I don't know. But that's why I'm saying he's always been into it. He's pretty much I would probably heard almost at least 90% of my songs, you know what I mean? 95%. So he's heard a lot. And that's why he's always been there. He can probably say a thing here or two, but it's, again, like, criticism. You just got to take it with a grain of salt, and you got to work on it. And then like my mom, like she's gone to a couple of my shows, and she's supportive of it. She helps out here and there, if I make a video like or something, she'll text me and here and there. But it's definitely like, I don't know, you could tell the difference between both of them. But I still, even whether they were doing that or they were doing less, like I still gotta keep the same mindset and be my biggest fan, and just like do what I gotta do to keep myself going, and just be positive. I can't let anything let me down. I don't care if there's 5 people at the show, or I mean I do care, but you know what I mean? I mean, you still gotta get it done. The show doesn't end. You gotta get it done.
Okay. To me, it sounds like when you were 17, you did care. Now you've grown better at not caring and not giving a fuck, right? Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm growing. Like I'm a slow learner, so I'm growing, learning
But like you said earlier, you can't control how people think and how they feel. Even if they're your parents, your sister, your brother, everybody's they're your parents, your sister, your brother, all that. But everybody is their own person. They're in their own thoughts. Some people would say the term. Some people live as if the world revolves around them. And if that's what I'm saying, if people are living with that mindset, there's nothing you can really do to change it, more or less, unless you go like extensive. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't make that type of person feel the way you're gonna want to feel because they're set on how, what they believe in. That's, that's just how it is.
Okay. Okay.
There's no point in fighting a war.
Okay. Okay. So do you feel imposter? Like, I won't say you feel like, I don't feel that because I've heard your latest album, obviously. But do you feel like I feel a streak of it when I'm doing something publicly? Like, everyone has that a little bit. But do you
Mhm.
feel that when you sing or when you write or when you're like just struggling to be creative?
When it comes to like an album or music, not so much anymore, just because I love my music so much, especially if I'm gonna drop it. Like, I enjoy it. So of course I want other people to enjoy it. Maybe if I'm gonna post a snippet or something on Instagram or something like that, I kind of worry like, oh, is this the best snippet? Is this the best part of the song? Like, yeah, like I'm not too
Yeah.
sure if this is what they're gonna like or if it's another part. But I don't really get, as far as just the songs in general, the album. I want to get my music out. I know I believe in what my music can do, and I know if I was out there on the other side listening to it, I'd probably be like, damn, like, like I like this. I would listen to it. So, that's all I'm doing it for. I don't really think about it too much. As far as like performing, I haven't been performing too much recently with the COVID and everything. I've just been making music as well. I performed once, I believe it was a few months ago, probably like July. And that time, I guess because it had already been a while, probably about a year since before that,
Hmm.
um, I kind of did have that feeling, about the singing well and, getting, because it's like, it's the same thing with the podcast. It's not just putting on a camera. You got to work with the audio and you got to make sure everything's right. You got to write notes and everything, but they don't see that. So it's the same thing with exactly.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with like anything, whether it's recording or whether it's performing. Like with the performing, you have to have the mic. It's got to be wired correctly. They got to have the sound audio perfect because if it doesn't, it's going to sound even more off. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like I'm always in the back of my head with that. Like, is the sound audio going to be right? Am I going to have to do this or this? And especially because since we're so new and we don't really
Yeah.
have authority, we don't really get like mic checks or stuff like that. So I'm kind of just going off the rip, just getting on stage when it's my time to perform, and I kind of have to wing it and hope that I do my best. You know what I mean? If I mess up, then I mess up. But I
Yeah.
guess it's a growing process.
Exactly. Yeah, I think like most of the people feel it, at whatever points in their life, that even though, see, like, we're just two people conversing here, but when I was,
Mhm.
kind of introducing you, I did have that, okay. So I did
Yeah.
have that, So
Mhm.
yeah, but that's just most of the times it's just in your head. How do you feel that your songs and your work reflect your purpose in life? And how do you think that your work has kind of helped you grow as a person? And how has it, helped you reveal yourself, and to come onto terms with yourself as a person? Like, if you could just kind of combine your purpose and your work, and how do you actually feel about the two?
Yeah. I feel like it's a very good show of my purpose in the world just because it's what I want to do. It's what I love. I feel like that's what everybody's purpose more or less is, like to do what you love, to do what like even if it's, sometimes you want to do something, but God sets a plan for you to do something else and you don't realize until later, until it's kind of like too late, but it's not too late because you're given a second chance to do something else. And you might fall in love with that as well. You can't keep your eyes closed, like God forbid, I want to become as big as I can and do what I got to do and make my own music and be Courtside J. But say if God chose for me to instead be behind the scenes a little bit more and become a writer and sell my writing and not necessarily make Courtside J the biggest known name, if that's what God plans for me, I mean, you got to kind of do what you got to do. It's still what I love to do. I still making music. I'm still writing for other people and, still a part of what I love, but it just went a different way. And I got to appreciate that still. I got to enjoy it and take it for what it is and work with what I can. Because if you take that opportunity, if you go hard enough, you do good, who knows? Maybe one day you might be given a second chance to become Courtside J, like, you gotta see what life has planned out for you. It doesn't work in a week, in 2 weeks. You can waste your first 30, 25, 30 years of your life and then wake up at 30 and try and like with actual purpose and still get the job done. Think about it. You
Yeah.
can waste 30 years doing nothing
Yeah.
and just wake up one day and try, and that's all it takes. It's insane. It's insane when you really think about it, the time you could waste and still get it done. So don't waste any time and you'll for sure get it done.
Okay, yeah, this is all about perception, like the way
Mhm.
you feel. That basically, when you're 20, you don't think that 30 is young, right? When you'll be 30,
Mhm.
you'll think 40 is old. When you'll be 40, you'll think 50 is old. But yeah, it's never too late. And the perception is just so much relatable. Like, I'm just able to relate to, about it so much into, my own life.
Mhm.
What is, like your purpose and like your personal personality traits that
Mhm.
you want to manifest using your songs, like the things you believe in:
Mhm.
honesty, humbleness, truth.
Mhm.
And it's not just a song for you, it's the message you're trying to convey to the world. And
Mhm.
there is a lot of crap when it comes to music that is there, that is actually there, not just
Mhm.
in India but in any country. But it shouldn't just be a music, it obviously for you, it isn't just a music album that is just out, it is the manifestation of you. And
Mhm.
so what are your personality traits that you kind of tried manifesting in your songs?
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
No, well, there's probably, I'd say the main three things is obviously like the one, the love, talking about whether past experiences, something I can think about or just stuff like that. There's parts of the songs where when I can, I talk about kind of like, where you're saying I'm being descriptive and I'm talking very into things and about like manifestation and all that. I try to put that type of stuff into my songs as much as I can, try to empower someone who's listening, try to be related, like say, that's true. Like I don't have to take that from someone. I can believe in myself, whatever, whatever. And the third would be, I guess, like, just I would say it probably in the least. I mean, maybe I haven't studied my own music enough, but just stuff about me. Like just I guess the other two are kind of stuff about my mindset and how I my love life and that sort of stuff. But the me, I guess like my name. Like I have a song with my name in it. Just I mean, I don't really say too much about me. I guess I talk about my mindset, but again, just the fact that my name's in it. And there's another one with I think I said my birthday was last week. Just kind of little.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say that, but I say 22 this week. So obviously I just turned 22. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
that's actually on the album. I think it's like the 10th or 11th track.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't reached there, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. That's why you were busy last week. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
No, 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 no. I didn't mean like it's my birthday. That like I meant like in the song, and
Ah,
I
okay. 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 Okay.
when I recorded that song, the lyric like
Are there any personal challenges that you felt with yourself, like within yourself? Like everyone has it. Like I've had it within like myself for the past year. Like it's just been there inside me, and I'm grateful for having gone through it. But it's been there for me. Like obviously, you were like everyone was stuck in the pandemic, and I stopped talking to people. And then I thought of this podcast, and kind of reconnecting with people, and like manifesting love that I believe in.
mhm.
And so what have there been any personal challenges that you faced with yourself and that you've kind of overcome through music? Or is there any other thing that has been in your life that has been okay, that's a click? Okay, again, we're very young talking about this, but still, has there been anything for you? Yeah.
I mean, it's just like kind of like the wait process. After a while, when you're 17, you think, oh, maybe 18, 19, I should be all right, especially if I'm working hard. And then 19 comes, you're like, well, fuck it, maybe 20, 21. And then you're 21, it's like, okay, maybe 22, and that can kind of like get to you sometimes, especially when you don't have a lot of um, acknowledgement around recognition around you. You know, I had a few friends here and there, and you know, it's nice and I appreciate them, especially like the Instagram, like I said, the Instagram people, especially like you where you're from, the fact that you recognize that I'm working on what I love, and other people that they do too. I have people that I know from Russia and other part Macedonia. So the fact that they can see what I'm doing and recognize me and enjoy what I'm doing, like that brings me so much joy. I had 600 listen, like 6,000 listeners. Like I'm still gonna want to reach the next height, and I'm not gonna be like as happy and fulfilled with myself until I get there. I gotta know that I gotta live in the moment. I gotta appreciate what I have because I remember what I used to have, but I still gotta work on for what's more. And it's there's always gonna be that kind of like that like thrash feeling you get with it because you know it's bittersweet. You know, you don't want to wait for it, but when you finally do it and you finally get it, I mean, that's what all the work is for.
Okay.
I don't know if I answered your question, but I hope
Okay.
so. Sorry.
No, I guess because like whatever, like obviously challenges will be there. Like personally, I
Mhm.
haven't been through any big challenge, and I'm assuming even you haven't. Like obviously there are going to be levels and everything, but whatever phase you are in life, you feel like okay, this is a challenge.
Yeah.
You whatever you phase
Yeah.
in,
No.
you are yeah. You're
And
saying
there
something.
was a few. Yeah, there was a few challenges. Not. I mean, you know, there was a few family challenges, and that was probably. No, I think like that was kind of like a rough hit. But you know, again, I couldn't let that get to me. You know, like even whether that happened or not, I was gonna still keep doing what I'm gonna do. You know, and that's what I'm saying. It might have made it a little harder to do some things. And like I said, another challenge is going through all the engineers. You know, finding an engineer, but then they live you know, it's not even that far, but 20, 30 minutes away or however long. And then having to drive there all the time and then having to pay them the rate and you feel like the rate that you're paying them isn't worth the quality that they're giving you on the song. And so, you know,
Yeah.
it's just trying to find the exact engineer that you can mesh with. It doesn't sound like much, but it's like imagine if you were trying to do your podcast and your headphones, every headphones that you used, they weren't working. They weren't making this. You couldn't hear you know what I mean? You kept
Yeah.
having to
Yeah.
go through headphones and you
Yeah.
pay money and figure out like it sucks. You're just wasting time. You're wasting money sometimes, but it's experience. You grow. You gain relationships.
The entertainment industry, like I won't necessarily say just India, but any country in like making a place in the entertainment industry is not easy. And like you said, as long as you're living your passion, you can either be a songwriter or you can be a singer, you can be like anything in, as a musician. But it's not easy to kind of build a paycheck when you're in this industry until you reach a certain point. Like this
Mhm.
is like I've seen many people like talk about it on podcasts, and so even though the glam to the people is evident, but that's not true. That's not
Mhm.
true, because most of the times people even have to do things for free to kind of make their place break through and get people to listen to them. And so do you, what is like, I want to know your perception, because you're my age. How do you think about money and kind of skimming through that and building a paycheck in the long run? And like what is your perception on finances? Like this question I ask in every podcast episode, just from a different perspective, like from a relationship perspective, or from a studies perspective. And like I'm asking you from like a general perspective, like what do people of my age think?
Yeah. You said something about doing things for free, and a lot of people don't like doing that, you know? And
Mm.
I feel like it's very entitled
Yeah.
because, you
Mm.
know, a lot like who are we to be asking? You know, I'll see people with I mean, I don't really know. I'm not them. I don't pay attention to, you know, I'm not trying to think
Mm.
about their stuff, but
Mm.
they're more or less in the same spot that we are,
Mm. Mm.
and they're asking for 100, 150 or
Mm.
more for
Mm.
certain things. And it's just like, what? Like man, like I should be if y'all are charging that, I should be able to charge that too, if not like the same, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like you got to put in that groundwork. Like it's not about the instant gratification. It's not about a quick paycheck. Like do you want to be able to say, hey, when I was 21, 10 people gave me $150 for a feature and I felt so great? Or do you want to say, hey, when I was 21, I worked with 50 different people for free and we
Mm.
did amazing music and
Mm.
that led to my my career growing, and now I'm 30 and I'm one of the biggest artists or something like that, and I'm making money on money on money, and it's because of the groundwork I put in. I paid my dues instead of just trying to look cool and trying to tell people, hey, I made money off of a feature. Like, I thought you did it, you kind of do have to make money and stuff, and but that's the thing too. If you're really making money, or you're trying to make money and you want to do something and you want to get higher, like in your life, you you need to invest in yourself, which leads to using that money that you have and putting it into something, so that way you see the growth from it later on, which means you're spending money anyways, but in something that's not going to give you instant gratification. Instead of buying that new PlayStation 5 and I can't say this the most, because of course I buy things that I don't need and stuff that's not going towards music. But for a few years a while back, and even now, like, I'm getting better at it again, a lot of my money, like, if it's not going towards food or stuff that I just buy little things here and there, like, a lot of it's going towards the music, towards promotion, towards videos and stuff. And if it's not doing that, then you're not really putting in the effort that you should, like, that, well, you put in as much as you want, to get back from it.
And that being said, the money you put in, it has to be yours. It has to be yours. And so, like, the thing I was getting at is, like, yeah, that perception as well that you put out, and you just can't, like you said that you have to save money and not invest it on PS5, but your sponsorship on the, to kind of expand,
Yeah.
So,
And that's the thing, like, when you work after a while, that's what I'm saying. Like, I used to do it a lot where most of my money was going straight to that. Like, it's okay to stop here and there and, like, spend something on yourself, treat yourself here and there. Especially when you've done, like, an accomplishment. If you drop an album, if you drop something that does real good, like, if you want to buy yourself a little something, then that's fine. But you just got to remember, at the end of the day, like, you got to have your eye on the prize. You can't forget, you gotta be very, very strong on it, very, very precise.
yeah, it's difficult to control to not buy a MacBook, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine's kind of giving out on me, I believe.
Basically, like, my parents, okay,
Hmm.
they are also like, okay, son, you have to be strong, and you have to, like, just always, like, have that fiery fierce in you, and you have to just come with the force reckoning.
Hmm.
And it's like, it has almost become like, so we are mostly emphasizing, the masculine qualities, as in, just being brave, being courageous all the time. And what
Hmm.
we are not doing enough is kind of bringing out the feminine qualities, such as love, kindness, the honesty and the quality of relationships around us, being
Yeah.
kind to other people. And
Yeah.
I can say that I'm kind, okay, and but that doesn't necessarily, if it doesn't manifest in my attitude, it's of no use. But
Yeah.
still, you can obviously say that because of a bad incident, it has taught me to be tough in the world. Tough in the world. This is what I want to say. Okay, this is going to explain it very well. Okay, a bad incident can tell me, okay, I've got to be tough in the world, but that
Hmm.
doesn't mean that I need to suppress the human in me. I
Hmm.
need not suppress the emotional person I am, the love I have for people, the kindness I have for other people. So this is what I mean is, we're taught to be tough, but we are, at the same time, we are kind of asked not to be emotional and not to be like, just humble, or like, just be kind always to the other people. So
Hmm.
do you think how do you think that this balance should rise, and how do you, like, work with it? How do you bring that out in your songs or your work or in your life? How do
Hmm.
you maintain the balance of the two, and how important do you think it is?
Yeah. Well, as far as, like, just being, like, the masculinity, you're really gonna find that anywhere. Like, that's kind of just something that's happened since the beginning of days. With cavemen, there's always been that masculinity, like having to take what's theirs and protect it and all that sort of stuff. And it's with the world that we live in. Some people are very far away, again, living in their world, so they're what they want, so they're not even
Mm.
thinking about oh, I need to be more, like they don't even ask those type of questions sometimes because that's not at the beginning of, that's not at the top of their list of what they need to worry about or what they should worry about. Um, and so, like that's going to get lost more and more. And depending on what kind of culture you're from, I could say in the culture that I'm in, like, Hispanic culture and all that stuff, there's a very tough masculinity. Everybody, especially where I live here, everybody wants to like, again, be better than the next person, like they don't want someone doing better than them. You can be driving and someone will get mad at you because you want to drive faster than them. As crazy as that sounds, like
it does. And it's the truth. It's the truth.
it just doesn't make any sense. Like you just don't want me to. You want to. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And that's what I'm saying. So these people here, they're just it's like we call it here like the machismo, like like I don't know, just too much manliness, trying to be the man, trying to be the one in the front, and when they're not even ready for that, you're not even ready for that when they really, if you can't even drive faster than me, how are you the man in front, trying to be in front of me, like nonetheless of anything else. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like in my music, I'm to myself. I don't really care about the opinion, and the music is very much about expressing yourself. So if I had to be less masculine than that, I do. Like if it's a singing song or whatever, I try to tell my emotion, try to tell what I've been through, or just anything that I feel that will connect with someone. And that means having to stop being masculine. Of course, you can connect with someone in a masculine way, but in order to get into that real tender like spot, you got to get to the real feeling, the real emotion and stuff. So that's just something I have to dig into when I can.
Okay. Yeah, that was the answer I was looking for. Okay. Nicely put. Yeah. Someone very, very stubborn. So I used to think that, okay, being stubborn is going to get me through things. I just have to stand up for myself and like, just, I also just had this attitude that I kind of just have to, be up to the level of a man. And like that's true, because we just taught to kind of just grow that way. And so with that, we kind of just lose the sense of ourselves and the sense of being true to our feelings. And like that, it's just ingrained so much in us that it's just crazy.
Yeah, and it has to do with that, because again, if you look, not that I'm saying that it's right, but if you look at the bosses, the big, like the Donald Trumps, everything like that, like the powerful men, and if you don't come with that same thing that they bring, like the masculine that don't care, like like do what's got to be done, the business, it's like, that's what I'm saying, it's different between business and pleasure. Like business is business and you got to get it done. And that's what I'm saying. If you come into, I'm not saying it's right, but when you're not as stubborn, or not, I don't want to say stubborn, because stubborn isn't necessarily the best trait, but again, trying to be strong, trying to be strong on your word, on your moral, what's right, trying to do the right thing. And if you're, or just trying to, like trying to get things done.
What do your further projects look like? What all is coming? And also please just let everyone know that where is Love Tends to Forget featuring at this moment. Yeah,
Love Tends to Forget has been out for about probably the last 15 days. You can find that anywhere: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, anywhere you really SoundCloud, under COURTSIDEJAY, all together, one name. But the projects that I have coming up, I haven't been working on too much music since I just released recently, but I have a few songs ready just to start on, so for something new. I don't know if I'm gonna release them one at a time. I don't know if I'll maybe drop another small project, since I dropped kind of a big one recently. I know for sure that I'm doing some music videos for, I already have 3 for this most recent album that I already dropped. So I'm hoping to get maybe 1 or 2 more, and maybe drop one this year. And then I wanted to keep both the videos to drop this year, like maybe next 2 months before the end of the year. But in reality, it's always good to have some waiting for the beginning of next year, because I see where next year starts and I see everybody dropping, and I'm just like, damn, like, so so it would be a good thing to keep one for this year, and then maybe another video to drop early next year, and just be ready to start start with some fire and some pressure just at the beginning of next year.
Okay. Head start kind of thing, you know. So what you have to do is, I'll be giving you a set of questions and you have to answer in one word or one sentence maximum. Okay.
Okay.
So this is like a rapid fire kind of thing, and you have to be quick. I mean, like you can take your time, but the answer has to be succinct. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First question is, what's that one question you wish people would ask you more often?
That's a very good question. Do you want to work together? Like, you know?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to too much into it because you said one sentence. So, do you want to work together? I guess you can put that as you may, whatever you think that means.
Okay. If I steal your phone today, whose phone number would you want to steal? Would I want to steal the most?
My friend, probably Raul. Raul.
Okay. Okay. What's so special about him?
Because you'd go through the messages and you'd see random stuff like, what is, like, you know, just him being dumb. I don't really have to talk to so many people. So.
Okay. Okay. What is your favorite mantra or meditation or any words of affirmation that you say to yourself every day?
Always keep growing.
Okay. Okay, this one's a good one. Answer carefully. Okay. What's that one word you use? Okay, this has to be one word. Okay. What's that one word you use to describe music?
Art.
Okay. Anything else? Like I was just expecting something, you know. Okay. Like this.
Because I mean, I would say like love or passion, you know, like that's just that's my life, you know. I love music. Like it's just everything, like, you know, any of those words. Love, passion, art,
Okay.
Miracle, shit. I don't know.
Okay. When you're struggling to be creative, what's that one thing that gets you to be creative?
The flow of making music, just
The
flow, like being in the moment. Like, you know how right now you're in the seat, you're in, you know, you're recording, it's on, like that. Being in the studio, having the sound on, having the headphones on, just being in the moment.
Okay. Like the environment, right?
Yeah, the environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 So this is the last question. What's the best lesson you've learned about self-awareness in the last 12 months? Or in general, even if it's not the last 12 months?
You're always learning more, no matter what. Even if you think you appreciate things, like just learning to gratitude, you know, appreciate more. Even if you tell yourself, I appreciate that and I don't know what I would do with that, there's always more that you can do, like whether you know it or not. If it's a person you appreciate, if you appreciate it, do something for them, you know, even if it might take, if you really appreciate them, like it should be easy. And if it's a little hard, because, you know, sometimes you be lazy or just whatever, like that's the point. They're doing whatever it is for you, you know, you got to show some love back. You got to appreciate, you got to show gratitude.
Okay.
Okay. Always got to keep you got to always remind yourself that, because if you forget it, then you start being selfish and just taking things for granted, and that's not the right path.
Okay. Okay. So it's gratitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the conversation was really fun, and I just can't thank you enough for joining me. And yeah, I really, like, there were literally so many epiphany moments.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm just so glad I finally had someone of my age on the podcast. And yeah, just thank you so much for doing this. And yeah, and to everyone who is listening to this conversation, just please go and subscribe Jason on Instagram at COURTSIDE. And you can reach out to him on Facebook as well. And you can reach out to the both of us. If you like today's episode, just tag him, tag me, leave your comments on today's episode, share your views, share your key takeaways from the episode. And yeah, like, we love listening to stories, so we'd love listening to your feedback. And just don't forget to listen to his album, Love Tends to Forget. It's amazing. And yeah, just go and check it out. on YouTube, Spotify, the most common platforms, and on Apple Music and on SoundCloud, and all the links are there in his bio. Yeah. And so, yeah, till the next time, keep blossoming, keep learning. And Jason, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation.